voice deserves the light. Your story, your light. Come share your creative spark. Your journey, your fire. Come share your creative spark.
I have my dear friend Melanie Rae Wendt, who is an actress and a writer and all kind of other fun, cool stuff I'm gonna let her tell you about. But first, let me say hi. Hi, Melanie.
Jill, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
I'm always excited to talk to you. And so I'm gonna try to stay on business with some points because you and I could sit and giggle, and I don't know if everybody
Oh
just
God.
wants to
You just,
listen to us
you
sit
just
and giggle.
yeah.
They're like, girl, it's just it's like sit and giggle. So I wanted to give you an opportunity to just kind of introduce yourself to people, what you do and who you are.
Hey guys, my name is Melanie Rae Wendt. Like Angel said, I am an actress. I am a writer. I am a director, a mom, a wife. I am pretty much whatever life lets me be.
Like that. She just like, and then a line that says, add whatever you want.
Had whatever. And to be continued.
To be continued because we're always growing. I love that. And I met Melanie through the journey of being a writer. So, as a writer, I get that, but being actors, I'm not, people are like, oh, you should be an actor. And I have no judgment around acting. It takes a skill that I just don't have the time to develop. I have a lot of respect for actors. And as a writer, I write to create characters and then hand them off to an actor to bring them to life. And I think what I've learned recently is even more respect goes to like really delving into a character as much work as we as writers put into them. It's the actor's job to take that like it's a what do you call those a relay race. We hand the baton off to the actor, and then the actor now has to get in our head and then get in their own head and then get in the character's head and then create the character. How is that for you? What does it feel like for you really bringing these characters to life as an actor? I'm just curious. That's just my own curiosity, y'all.
No, it's totally good. It's interesting because I have been acting my whole life. I started when I was two on stage and in like student projects with my dad because he was an actor, my grandfather was an actor. So it's been ingrained my whole life. I've been able to get myself into headspaces, and it really just kind of depends on the project. If it's something like where there is a lot of emotion involved in the script, then I try and spend a lot of time familiarizing myself with that and getting to the point where I know the character and know their struggles. But if it's something more where it's a lot of like an ensemble piece where it's a lot of characters going back and forth, I'm kind of bad about not familiarizing myself too much until I get in with my other actors and like find out how they're building their characters and then working around them and building off of them too. So it's just kind of a lot of using real life and my relationships with my other actors and just seeing what we can kind of create and trusting each other. That is kind of the biggest part. When I have um cast like when I've been cast in something that's different than normal, like I just won an award for a film, or the film won an award. Um and I got to be a celestial non-binary bad guy. And that is a complete, yeah, it's completely different from what I normally play. Normally I am brothel worker or something along those lines, or pop star, or just something more along that. So when I got to be like this non-binary celestial bad person, it was getting into a whole different headspace. And so like really reading through the script, connecting with the writer and the director, and being able to see that that helps a lot. But I completely agree. As a writer, I just had a performance of mine, a play of mine that I wrote and directed. It was so different handing the script to my friends, these really very talented actors, and seeing them embody and bring them to life. It was just seeing it from the other side of it. I'm like, oh my goodness, you guys, this is fantastic. Like, it's just so fun to see the artistic space and the artistic uh, process through every point of view. It's really interesting. It's really fun.
That's really cool. And I can tell you I akin it to childbirth. When you create a character, especially if it's something you're passionate about, and then you write it all out and you go through the pain of creation, and then you hand it off to someone. And for many writers, we don't get the opportunity to see it to come to fruition. We just sell our scripts and then move on to the next project and then cross our fingers, and at some point when it releases, we look up and we go, either it was great or it was whatever. But when you're there, actually being a part of facilitating it, you get to watch your little children come to life. Man, that it's difficult to describe. It
It
really is
really is.
difficult to describe.
It really is, especially like when you're just sitting there opening night or when you're actually filming it and you just got to sit back and get to sit back and watch them do it and get to watch your world come to life. It's awe-inspiring, it's very humbling, it's very inspiring too. Like I just it's hard to put into words. Like I keep going back to opening night of my play and it was on such a whim. I wrote it, directed, and produced it in less than 6 months, which was super fun. But by the time opening night came around, I just got to sit and watch it. Like they did so well. They did, all my cast did so amazingly. I just get to sit and watch and see it come to life and not have to worry and not have to direct or anything. And it was, I will say, after having my children, that was probably one of the best nights of my life.
Wow, that's really cool. And it is different, I guess, as I've been a dancer, and a singer, but never done actor, though one might argue there is acting in that,
Definitely acting.
but I think as a writer, we tend to forget that the actors have something to say and something to do. And, as an actress, what kind of advice or what kind of feedback do you have for writers as they're developing their characters?
Since I've been on both sides, it's kind of fun. Be willing to let go a little bit. And I know that you're good at that. So when you have an
Uh,
actor that gets your character and wants to embody it or tweak it, or they have an experience that they can bring to the table that might make that character just a little bit richer, like let them have some creative leeway. Let them have just a little bit of not necessarily ownership, but collaboration of and with that character.
I love that. I love that sense of collaboration versus ownership. We won't go there. But the collaboration when you're kind of in partnership, and I as not the actor, as the writer, director, how does it feel as an actress when people give you that and you get to play and you get to really be a part of the birthing of the character?
It is so much fun and it makes those sets and those movies that much more memorable and that much more like intimate. I have been on a handful of sets where the director is the writer and they're very like, that's my script, don't touch it, don't say a word differently, don't change it. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I end up forgetting that set because I wasn't able to connect as much with everyone there. But on the sets where I feel like they let me play or they let me ad lib, my very first movie that I was ever in, shout out Nexus of Evil, the director was amazing and we had some downtime and he let one of me and the other actors improv an entire scene and it ended in the final cut of the movie because it was just that raw and good and that I will always have a soft spot for that movie. I'll always love that production team because they let you play, they let the actors be part of the whole collaboration process, not just be puppets.
But isn't that control, right? Isn't that if it's kind of funny the way I look at it, because it's like I can control every moment. It says the river. I want you to say the river, that much control, or you can still have control by letting go because the control you have is creating something magical.
I completely agree. And what is more important, the words or the meaning that gets behind it or the emotion?
Yes.
And I know like when it comes to mine, Django Unchained, the scene where Leo punches a table and cuts his hand, because he was able to play and go through it and he trusted himself and they trusted him, they were able to make that scene pure magic.
Yeah.
But had they not all had that trust in each other, had a single person in that room freaked out and called cut, they would have lost it. And so that is when you have that trust in each other to work with the magic and to fully collaborate, you can make some badass things happen.
I love that. And that's a really good example too, because I'm a student of films. I consider myself a historian. I am a fan all the way back to silent films and watching them, and the ones that we remember, the ones that stand out, they always have those stories, whether it's, you know, I don't know, Burt Lancaster or Elizabeth Taylor or
Mhm.
Brad Pitt, whenever they tell the stories about the films that stand out for them, it's always stuff like that. And the films are always films that we remember.
Oh, 100%. I think having felt it, it's I'll go back to Nexus of Evil because it was my first like big feature film, and it was really what gave me a true taste of like what it is to work with a guerrilla filmmaking, small crew, but where you truly trust each other. Towards the climactic end scene, the whole thing was taken in one take. And it was like 4 in the morning. We were laying on the ground, freezing, and the actor comes in. And there was a moment when he was in his monologue that every single person on that set, you could feel it. Everyone knew this was the take. And he kept going and he was hitting everything. We were all hitting everything. And when you have that collaborative, like soul, when you're in the zone, like that collaborative in the zone moment, and everyone is on that same wavelength, it's pure bliss. It's magic. Like there is no describing it.
That's really cool. I have to watch that now. Every time you talk about it, and I haven't watched, I have to watch that now. Um, you you represent a a field in which people look on the outside and everybody wants to be an actor. Everybody's like, oh, I want to be. They have no idea what it means. They just think that somebody looks at you and they stick you on a set, they put you in a pretty costume, and you go out and you act. They don't realize that it's work.
Oh, it's work. It's
Talk to us.
I'm gonna quote one of my favorite end credit scenes, one of my favorite actresses, Christy McNichol from the Pirate movie. It's not all autographs and sunglasses. It is a lot of work. It is 4 a.m. running on cobblestones and heels and tearing your leg muscles because it's so cold and you literally have no other option. It's worth it though. It is long, grueling nights. It is pushing your body and your emotions physically and mentally to the limits. Fun fact, your brain can't tell the difference between manufactured emotion and real emotion. So if you're in traumatic scenes or you have to cry, you have to break down, your brain doesn't realize the difference.
Yeah.
So if you aren't in a place mentally where you can handle that and you can compartmentalize and break that all apart down, it's difficult. It is hard. When you see the scenes in action movies where they're running for 12, 10, 20 different takes, 127 if you're on a Kubrick film. There was one film in particular, I can't talk too much about it, but I had to do the splits. I got to do the splits. I can do the splits. It's super fun. I had to do them 18 times in a row. It gets a little exhausting.
Yeah.
But I'm not complaining because this is what I wanted. This is everything that I always dreamed of doing because it makes those red carpet moments, it makes the photo shoots, it makes the premieres like just the cherry on top of all of the hard work. And when you have everyone together and you're in that theater and everyone gets to see what they worked on for months, if not years, come together, it's so worth it. It makes all the bruises worth it. It makes all of the late nights and all of the nightmares that come with not knowing what you just did was not real. It makes it all so worth it.
You make some really interesting points. And I know, like as a writer, I write kind of heavy. My stuff is thought provoking, and I've got emotions all over the place. And in the history of filmmaking, I know that we've lost a lot of people who couldn't come back when they went down that road. And even I, as an author, and some of the things I just worked on, doc, like I want to make sure you're okay. This is like real heavy stuff. What kinds of things do you have to do as an actor to really like you're off in the darkness and now you got to come back, right? What kinds of things do you guys do?
I personally, I don't care for method acting. I know a lot of actors do like to be in that headspace from the moment they arrive on set, if not the entire time they're working on a project, from start to finish. I don't like that. I am the type of person that after, I don't care if I break down sobbing in the middle of the scene, after they call cut, I'm gonna be laughing. I have to give myself that break from reality, and then get right back into it. So when I am breaking down, sobbing, screaming, crying, I'm gonna be probably laughing maniacally as soon as we call cut, just to kind of give myself that emotional balance. But then I know I can get right back in there. I'm also the type where I will joke around with everybody on set. I will make best friends with everyone from the camera operators to the cameramen men. Those are my favorite people on set. The guys that like back up the camera guys as they're backing up. Those are fun. That's everyone. I want to be friends with everyone. I want to make sure that everyone's having a good time, that I know everyone's name, and that we can all collectively walk out of it as a positive interaction.
Why is that? Why is that important for you?
Because when we are putting ourselves in these emotionally vulnerable places, we can look back on the individual scenes and say, yeah, that was heavy. But when you look back on the whole project and say, gosh, that was so much fun, I would do it again. It helps rewire those emotional responses that you have. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I broke down in front of you 4 or 5 times,
Yep.
but I would go back and do that set all day, every day. The entire thing was so much fun, even though I was barefoot crying in the forest. Like that,
Barefoot, cold, rocks. I mean, girl, you're hardcore.
again, I do it again because everything in between those moments was so worth it. It was so much fun.
So as I look at all the notes that I had to prepare for this, and then look at you as an actress. I'll talk about you as a writer here in a second. And I see you said that you made this one film and you played this one type of character, but usually you're this other type of character.
Mhm.
And one could look at you and like, yeah, I can see that. Look at you. You look like that. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about if somebody's looking for the brothel maiden and then they see your picture come up like this gal? How does that?
So I'm not gonna lie. Having been growing up taller than every girl in the room and usually pretty gangly, and then for a while they're worried about my weight. It's a compliment. If I could go back and tell 12-year-old me that, hey, not only are you going to be an actress, but you're going to be typecast as, for lack of a better term, the sex symbol. No, I don't think anyone would believe you, and I would definitely have fallen over laughing. But it's true, and every single time, it's like I still can't believe it, but I'm just going to take the compliment and roll with it because if everyone else sees it in me, I'm going to see it in me eventually.
I love that. It's like power, owning your power. If that's what it
Oh,
is,
so
that's what
much.
it is.
It's so much
Yeah.
owning the power for me. Like I said, for the first 25 years of my life, I felt, I mean, I'm 6 foot tall. I was an athlete. I mean, I name a sport, I've probably at least attempted it. Um, but I felt like acting and especially modeling was way outside of the scope of possibilities. And then I did a photo shoot for my senior pictures, and the photographer worked really well with me. And then it just kind of built up to where I had people reaching out and saying, "Hey, would you want to do this?" And I'm like, "No, not me. There's no way. There's no way." And finally, one of my hairdressers convinced me to do an avant-garde runway show with her that had agents. And that was back in 2019 in November. And I signed my first contract that same month. And it's because of her and because of a lot of other people like her seeing it in me that every time I get those castings, I'm just going to thank her and thank everybody else who saw it because they've helped me see a lot different side of me.
I love that. And I love that you kind of had this moment like if I could go back over here. A lot of people don't get that when they see the beautiful star, the gorgeous star, that they were just like the rest of us. They were in school and they were the nerdy kid that played Dungeons and Dragons, everybody bullied and all that stuff, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'll send you a picture. Insert picture of 8th grade freshman Melanie here. Like I'll send a couple because I played flute in the marching band. I got bullied because I talked about playing World of Warcraft. Like, yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes, yes. So there's hope for the nerdy girl.
There is so much hope for the nerd girl. But here's the fun thing. I still play Dungeons and Dragons, but
I
I
do
get
too.
paid to play pretend. That's the fun thing.
Oh my God, that is so cool. You get paid to play make believe. I got it the other way for you. It's like I grew up on Dungeons and Dragons and I get to create characters. I get paid to roll characters.
So fun. That's so fun. That's when people ask me what I do for a job. I'm like, I get paid to play dress up and make believe. Like
Yeah.
that's truly what it is I get to go hang out with my friends all the time and just play role playing all of the time in pretty fun, awesome costumes. Like that's what it is.
What are your favorite? Now we know what you kind of get typecasted as, but what are your favorite roles?
I do love being a villain. I liked being
Ooh.
my celestial non-binary badass. I really want to be like the Maleficent type, like the evil queen. Reading Akatar, like Amarantha would be so fun to play. Just being that badass like queen figure would be really cool. And then just in general, I love me a good just complex like hero where they are very jaded, very have their vices, are very kind of dark themselves, but end up being like kind of the villain. Those are fun for me.
So either a villain or an anti-hero. And a lot of actors say that. So what is it about a villainous character that's much more interesting than a virtuous character?
I think because I spend my day to day just trying to be happy and spreading happiness where I can, that just seeing if I can truly get into that mindset of being evil sounds fun. Like it sounds challenging. As soon as I saw Total Recall as a child, I'm like, I want to see if I could do all of these things. Could I actually get away with it, but without actually doing it?
I love that. And then I hear that all the time from actors. It's like, oh, I want to be a villain. And that makes sense. Like I spend all day, just even as a writer, I write. I'm personally, I'm not good at writing like drama because I'm like, my life is drama.
Hmm.
I write science fiction, horror, all of this craziest life can get. That's what I want to write.
That's all right.
And for people as creatives, we all kind of have that, right? We all kind of have the side of our space that is the world of make believe, and that's where we tap into. And I guess it's different for everybody, right?
Hmm.
But
Yeah, I think it definitely is. I like to tap into it as far as like I said, something I wouldn't do in normal life, or a way to express like pent up emotions that I have no other way of expressing. But
ooh,
that like I mean, if we want to start talking about my writing journey, we can get into that, but
we will. I just have one more thing to talk about, and then we're going to talk about Melanie as a writer. I have a
I'm all over
list.
the
I
place.
have a list. But I wanted to ask you this because I think this is so entertaining to me. I follow you on social media. I've known you for a while, and you started doing something as we entered the new year here in 2026,
Hey.
tracing your life as a B-list actress. And I've been having so much fun watching this journey. Sometimes I literally wait to turn up, almost like I'm watching a show, like show my popcorn. I wait to turn up, like, what's she going to talk about today? What made you do that? And let's talk to us a little bit about this because I
So
love it.
thank you. So yeah, my behind the scenes of a B-list actress series. I kind of just decided I was spitballing ideas with my husband for a while, like to, kind of increase my exposure in the new year and like hold myself accountable, because social media is a big part of just kind of building your audience and just like also building your confidence. If you can talk to a camera and make it sound natural, then it's going to make talking to people a lot more natural. It's going to make red carpet and PRs and all those things a lot more natural. So I decided to start a behind the list of a B-list actors series, because I know I'm not a household name yet. I'm not even technically a B-list actress, but alliteration is better for branding. But I just wanted to kind of show that there are so many of us actresses and actors out here, and just other filmmakers and creatives, that aren't the A+ nameless celebrities. We're not the ones that are wearing Louboutins all the time or driving Bugattis or always constantly showing up to these big mansions. A good portion of us are 1099 employees that are just waiting for that next call so that we can hopefully pay some bills. Like that struggling artist, that starving artist thing
Yeah,
it's true.
yeah.
But when you're truly passionate about it, you can make it work. And that's kind of the basis of my series, is showing that, yeah, it's been most of the year, and it's been about 4 months into the year, and I've only been on like two actual sets, but I've been hosting film festivals. I've been doing photo shoots. I've been showing kind of what the in between of photo of being on film sets is. It's going to the gym, it's doing podcasts, it's meeting with friends and writing and making sure that you're honing your skills in other ways. And so I just like wanted to kind of show the nitty gritty of what it is to not be super famous, but still be super passionate.
I love it. And I think that something that stands out for me about you is your transparency and your honesty.
Thank you.
And it's refreshing because it's not what people are used to today. It's just very fake and it's very polished and it's very set up and choreographed. And there are times when I have you've come online with one of your episodes, specifically when we might be in a specific space where we want to say rant about something because something happened to us. I'm like, nope, nope. And then there's Melanie giving us the business about something that she went through, which makes us relate to you more as a person. It's not all apple pie
Well,
and
it's
smiley faces in the industry, right?
it's very much not all apple pie and smiley faces. It's very much people who claim to be directors or producers that just have a camera and want to write scenes with as many cute girls kissing on them as they can because it's the only way they can get it. It is a lot of
Oh
people
my
trying.
gosh, that's crazy.
It is.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, I'm gonna drop drama without dropping names. It is very much having producer, director, writers that are married to each other and insisting the talent sleep on their couch because that's the lodging that they have for them. It's very much learning that there is some shady shit in the industry. And I recently saw a quote that kind of sums up, I guess, my mindset about it. And I'm going to paraphrase and probably get it wrong, but it was along the lines of, if you put your neck out in public, people will notice if you get your head cut off. If you
Yeah.
put your neck out in private, no one's going to notice anything. So I am very blessed that I know that my foundation and my support system is rock fucking solid. So when people say try and mess with me and post really poorly edited revenge porn pictures because they're mad at one of my friends, I will call them out because I know that when I call them out, that the people in my home and in my hometown have my back. And I know that if some other woman who has gone through it sees it, she might know that she can stand up for herself too. And it might let this person know that you can't do that. You can't do that, get away with that. And that's my thing. I've always been loud. I'm a Leo. I'm 6 foot tall. I have absolutely no problem being loud and proud. So when I have a situation that affects me, that I know if it were to affect someone who didn't necessarily have the tools in their toolbox that I do and they couldn't handle it, I'm gonna make damn sure that I'm the last person that happens to, so no one else has to deal with that. And that's just why I do it. And because, yeah, there are going to be people, if you become a public figure, there's going to be hate comments. There are going to be comments that drag you down. Every one of my behind the scenes of the B-list actress, I'm constantly deleting comments. I laugh at them as I do, because these are people with 12 followers and no actual profile picture thinking they can get to me, which is hilarious. But again, that's just me. But there are going to be people that have the mean comments. There are going to be people that try and tear you down and drag you down. And it's, if I can show that, but I can show you how easy it is to also stand up for yourself and to laugh it off, I'm gonna do it.
That is well, and welcome, fellow lioness.
Hello, lioness.
Yes. It's one thing to speak your mind. It's another thing to take a stand, right? You know, taking a stand where it's like never again, I think is what it feels like. You know, whatever I go through, I want to make sure nobody else has to go through this.
Oh, 100%.
That's deep, man. That's really deep.
Well, I mean, I have a daughter and I wouldn't want her to have to go through that stuff. I have cousins and nieces and all sorts of young women in my life who I know that look up to me in the aspect of what my career is. And oh my gosh, she's a model. That's so fun. She's an actress. That's so fun. But I also want them to look up to me in that she's kind of a badass. I can be a badass too. I can stand up for myself. I mean, how many times, especially growing up when I was younger, did we see the pop culture icons of our age just get ripped to shreds by the media and by the comments and by paparazzi? I mean, oh my gosh, Britney's a size 4. She's huge. No, that's terrible. Like, I don't want anyone who looks up to me to feel like any part of them is something to be ashamed of. And if me being loud and standing up for myself gives them the power to be loud and stand up for themselves, good.
Impressive. Do you have any concerns of what it might look like for future prospects? If you, in the way that you talk and what you share, if anything like that?
I mean, in a way, and that is a question that I've often asked myself, especially before I post some of these.
Every journey has a story. Every voice deserves the light. Your story, your light. Come share your creation.